Okay, and thank you. It's Jai, that Aussie metal guy here with Crannk.com, and tonight I'm having a chat with Erlend Hjelvik of his solo band Hjelvik, who's an amazing listen, man. I've got to dive into it the last day or so, and I've really, really enjoyed the heck out of it, man. Congratulations on
Awesome.
your album, which comes out on the 20th of the 11th, which is like 3-4 days, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, it's just 3 more days. I almost can't believe it because I've been listening to the album for over a year now myself. So obviously it's been a little delayed for obvious reasons, but
Yeah.
it feels really good to finally get it out.
Yeah, it must have been a long process. Kind of the last couple of years, kind of hard, but probably also a lot cathartic for you as well, bringing this album out.
Yeah, it's just been really, it's been a breeze for me. It was a nice change. Like, I've been in a band for a long time, Kvelertak, working with other people. So it's nice to finally go out on my own and do my own thing finally.
Yeah, was this a vision that you had for a while, something you kind of wanted to do, and if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say for the last couple of years, I have had like fantasies about doing something on my own, but I didn't totally know how it would flesh out. So actually, I didn't have a clear plan when I left Kvelertak in 2018. I just had a couple of months off where I didn't do much with music and just kind of decompressed, and then I just slowly started getting inspired again while listening to a lot of music that I enjoy and love, and started writing just to see if I could. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to find out I was able to write my own songs, everything, not just the lyrics and the vocals. And a couple of months after that, I had written the whole album. So it was a really smooth and fun process, the whole thing, really.
Yeah, well, tell me a little bit more about that songwriting process. That would have been good for you, on
Yeah,
your own and coming from a different place than your last band as well.
Yeah, it was just nice to be in charge of everything and, to make music the way I think it should be. So I think it's, for me, it feels like a lot more coherent because when I write music, I picture my vocals on top of it, where as before, I would just kind of have to place my vocals and lyrics on top of someone else's vision, So I just feel like it's like 100%. Yeah, it just feels a lot more natural to write everything myself, and I feels like it gets better results.
Yeah, and you get to dive into some Norse mythology, which is unreal. I love diving into Norse mythology. I got to do it with Ivor of Enslaved. It must be it's a joy to dive into albums like this for me. I love the whole Norse mythology side of it, man. It's so much great material. It must be fun too to write about as well in songs.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do the research too. I call it research, but I would be reading this stuff anyway. It's no, I've been reading a lot in Edda and a book called Snorre, which is old history of Norwegian Viking kings. So there's lots of good sagas in there. And now I'm working on something called Flotte books, which is written by old Icelandic monks in the 1200s and is also about the history of Norway, but a lot more mixed with Old Norse mythology. So it's really a little bizarre, especially when there's like a weird like cross section with Christianity making its entrance. So there's lots of strange stuff in there, and it's just good food for my metal brain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can we talk about the singles that have come out? I want to dive into that a little bit more and the tales kind of behind the 3 that you've released so far. Can we start with Helgrinda though?
Yeah, that's a song that's in Norwegian. It felt natural because I just thought the music was kind of Norwegian sounding to me, and I think it was one of the more black metal sounding songs. So I decided to write that one in Norwegian, and it's about it just details the journey through To Hel, and it's inspired by the story of how Odin travels down to Hell, and also the story of where Baldur's brother goes down to hell. Hermod goes down to hell to try to rescue him. So I used a lot of the elements from those stories.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about the musical side of that track, Elgrinder?
Yeah, that was a song that came out pretty effortlessly. Like I was driving my car, and I was about 10 minutes away from the house, and the song just kind of popped into my brain, like pretty much fully fleshed. So I just had to hurry up and get home and record my ideas. So I wrote the whole thing in about 2 or 3 hours. So it's really nice when that happens, when it's kind of inspiration hits you like a lightning bolt, because yeah, it's kind of a rare occasions. Other times you have to kind of sit and work at it, but I love it when it just comes to you pretty much fully fleshed, and you can just kind of have to hurry up and get it out.
Yeah, hurry up and get home and get it out. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we talk
That was a good
about
feeling.
the glory of hell, and cool animated film clip with that one as well?
Yeah, that song is. I had the main riff, like the verse riff. I wrote a few years ago, while I was still in Kvelertak. So for obvious reasons, I didn't use it in that band, but that's good because I got to use it for myself, and then I just kind of made the rest of the song. And yeah, I think it's just a great AC/DC type hard rock song run through the Hjelvik filter. So yeah.
It's a rocking track, eh? It's really cool. I'm gonna ask about Northstar as well next, if I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say also has Glory of Hell also has a really good guest appearance by Matt Pike from High on Fire. So I think his solo and vocals really took the track to the next level as well.
Yeah, it did. It was a really, really cool film clip, and I got to have a watch it again as well. I showed my mate who actually hadn't heard of you before, so I'm like, you got to have a look at these film clips, and he was really impressed with it as well, rocking away at it, thumbs up as well. So awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for spreading racing Hjelvik awareness.
I love it too, and it must be good for you to dive into kind of some black metal as well, kind of bring that up a little bit more in with this album.
Yeah. I almost feel like there's not enough black metal. But well, it depends on what kind of black metal we're talking about. If it's like 80s black metal in the style that Venom and Merciful Fate played it, then I feel like there is plenty of it. But I don't know, maybe in the future I'll explore more of the like true Norwegian black metal style. We'll see.
Yeah, but I like it how it has that kind of kind of, as you're saying, that AC/DC kind of vibe, that rock, that vibe with it as well. It just sits so well, eh?
Yeah. No, it feels good to me, or like I like the feeling of the song, and that's the important factor for me is how it feels, and like I imagine myself singing on top of it, and that's usually my process when it comes to making songs. I just have to picture what the song's going to turn out like, and then I take it from there. So.
And that must be another really good thing that's cathartic as well about this project. You don't have to do anything. It's for you as well. You don't have to you're not set to any standards. You're just doing what feels right for this project and for you.
Yeah, it's perfect. So yeah, it's just a great place to be at. And yeah, I almost wish I had done it sooner, but the timing is what it is. And I'm just happy things are turning out the way they're doing now, and I'm really happy with how the album turned out, and I think everyone involved did a great job on it. So yeah, it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be great to finally get it out and see what people think.
Yeah, and can I ask about Northstar? But before I ask about Northstar, can I just quickly ask about the Power Ballad of Freya, dude? That track rocks.
Yeah. Thanks.
That track rocks for me. Music changes. I listen to an album. I love listening to a whole album, and I'll listen to one track. I'll be like, dude, that's my favorite track. And a few days later, I'll be like, this one is. But today, man, that Power Ballad of Freya, I put that on today. It's just been one of those days, and I put that on, and I was like, okay, then I got this. I can go forward, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, I think that song was kind of inspired by Danzig and Typo Negative and other 80s metal bands. I guess I was kind of going for like a Danzig thing when I was just making that main riff, and then it just kind of fleshed itself out, and then it's like, okay, this is like a power ballad. And then I had to make lyrics that was appropriate for that. So then I chose to write the song about how the god Freyr ended up with this giantess Gerder, and it's like a kind of twisted love story. So I thought that was like a good fit for the song. So.
Yeah, and it fits well, that's for sure. That's all I could say about it. People, when they get this, they're going to have to play this whole album because that track rocks.
Cool. Thanks.
Can you tell me a little bit about Northstar?
Yeah, that song is the second song I wrote. Yeah, it's pretty. I think that was the first single of the album, and the reason I chose that is because I thought it kind of best represented the term I came up with, which is Black and Viking heavy metal, and I think it's the most Viking sounding song too.
Yeah,
I just think the main riff, has that kind of melody that I kind of picture like a Viking melody. And it has the Viking choir at the end. So yeah, I just kind of felt like that song lived the most up to the term or the genre name I came up with.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, and you were actually able to do a film clip for that one
Oh,
too
sorry,
at the
go ahead.
time. And you were able to do a film clip
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that one at the time.
Yeah, we made a great film clip with the production company based in Poland called Grupa 14. They made some amazing videos for Behemoth and Sabaton and bands like that before, so I knew they were great directors, and that's why I chose them. So we flew down to Poland the moment the travel restrictions opened up, and we were actually on the first international flight from Norway to Poland. So there was like a TV team, news station teams at the airport there, because it was the first international flight from Poland to Poland in this Corona crisis. So
Yep.
so it was kind of funny, and we shot the whole thing in one day in this cool Viking village. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it came out really well. It looks unreal. It would have been fun to be able to at least get that film clip down. And how are you going over there with Corona restrictions? Are you able to see yourself playing live at all maybe next year? It's like this year's probably out for sure.
Yeah, we have one festival announced for next summer, which is called Tons of Rock. It's like the biggest metal festival in Norway. So I really hope that's happening. And yeah, we're trying to plan stuff, but it's kind of difficult these days. So you have to have a plan A and a plan B and a plan C. So that's kind of how we work.
Yeah.
And yeah, the next big step in getting ready for touring is to build a practice space in the basement of our house here. So that's what my wife and I are going to be doing.
Yeah, and it'd be remiss of me to ask the artists that were helping you with the composition of this album as well. Can you tell me a little bit about the artists that you were working with?
Yeah, you mean the musicians?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's a great group of guys from all over the world. We have an American guitarist named Rob Steinway, who's from a band called Skeletor, which play really great 80s style heavy metal.
Yep.
And we have a French drummer. His name is Kevin Foley, and he's been the drummer for Abbott in the past, and a grindcore band called Benighted. Yeah, he's a really great drummer.
Benighted are good, eh?
Yeah, and another guy who used to be in Benighted, Alexis Lou, he is also French and is Kevin's friend, and he came on through his recommendation. So he plays the bass and did a really great job on that. And so those are the guys on the album. And recently we just had a Norwegian guitarist join, and his name is Remy Nygaard, and he's from a band called Inculter, which play really cool 80s black thrash. So that's going to be the group going forward.
Yep. And what was the recording and production process like once you all kind of got in there? Can you tell me a little bit about that in this time?
Yeah, so I worked out the demos at home before recording, and once I had written all the songs, I started involving the guitarist and the drummer, like making them put down their guitar and the drums on top of on the tracks. So we had the demos pretty much fully fleshed out before recording. And then we met up in the studio for 2 days, and yeah, we practiced for 2 days just to get the tempos right and stuff, make tiny adjustments, and then we started recording, and that took about 3.5 weeks, I would say. Okay. And then the mixing took a while longer. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we spent probably like a month or two mixing and mastering.
Yep. Who mixed and mastered it?
Yeah, Justin Phelps and I mixed it. Like, he did the main job, and then I would come in with, I would listen to everything and make adjustments.
Yep.
Accordingly, like how I thought it was needed. And then Alan Duchess from West Side Music, he's mastered bands like Baroness and Kvelertak and Mastodon, all kinds of bands before, so he did the mastering. So.
Yep. And then the cover art as well, I got to ask about that. Joe Pentagno, you've done that one. He's done some amazing art. Hawkwind, Motorhead, a whole ton. Led Zeppelin. He's done a whole stack of cool cover art. Can you tell me a little bit about his association and the cover art for this? Is really cool.
Yeah, he's a legend. And
yeah,
when it came time to find the cover artist, I wanted someone who could make like a iconic and timeless metal cover. So he was on the top of my list, and it's the boring old answer of just sending an email and him saying yes. But it was just a really great fit. He's American, and he lives in Denmark now. And he's really into Norse mythology, so he was totally on board with that. So I just sent him the lyrics and the demos. And a little while after, he wrote an email and said he had the whole concept come to him in a dream, and he sent this awesome sketch of the cover art, and it was just exactly better than what I could have hoped for. So it was great.
It came out really well, and it looks really, really sweet, and that's why everyone needs to go out and buy the album, buy vinyl, buy merch, because it's all about getting around and supporting the scene. You know, in this time, people are like, I can't see shows, but just because you can't see shows doesn't mean you can't support the bands, and that goes further than just hitting the like and subscribe and follow on Spotify. Buy merch. I love buying records, merch.
Thank you.
And you've got some sick merch and vinyl, that's for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely the right time to sit at home with a record spinning and the album cover in your hands. So,
yeah, that's one thing. 2020, I made advantage of it by diving into lots of music like yourself and just immersing myself in the quality and talent of musicians around and buying music and buying merch. So, Erlend Hjelvik, this has been an absolute pleasure to be able to have a chat with you about this album. I'm going to sign out, mate. But did you have any last words? Shout outs or any thank yous you'd like to quickly add in there?
You pretty much covered it with buying the merch and the records, so that's important. I would really appreciate it if people did that. That would be a great support. And I can't wait to make it back to Australia. It's been way too long. I think it's been 7 years, but I plan to rectify that as soon as possible. So hopefully next year or the year after, as soon as we can. We'll come down.
I can't wait. We would love to have you down here, down under, and I would be front row center for that. Erlend Hjelvik,
awesome.
Thank you very much. Stay safe. Okay. Take care. We'll see you around, mate.
You too. Thank you so much for the talk.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye.